You can go first.
Well, I just want just a blanket question this one.
Yep.
There are games that mean more than others.
Correct.
Sydney versus Carlton. It's probably curtains for the loser.
It's done, isn't it?
4 wins and a draw for the Blues at the moment. 4 and 6 for the Swans. Loser loses pace with the 8. So it's one of those must wins. Saints have had a fantastic start, 7 and 3. Just got to get the job done. You'd expect them to.
No, agree. Upset alert or not? Upset alert at all?
Not quite.
Nah,
not quite.
yeah.
Is there an upset alert at the G on Saturday afternoon?
I think there's an upset. Just alert. I don't think Fremantle.
Do Fremantle need to frank this build and this season 5 and 5? Do they need to win this game at the G?
Well, they started so poorly, so they're not winning it from outside the 4. If you're a Perth-based team, you can't win it from outside the top 4, and we're all in it to win it. I think we had them as a prelim, as a pass mark at the start of the year. So I think yes. Then the bye, then it's Richmond and GWS. But all eyes on Carlton for me. Win or go home with the draw that they've got. They've failed the last 3 significant tests against the Lions, the Bulldogs, Collingwood at Sydney, Melbourne, Essendon in the next 3. So
Stewie Dew can take all the pressure off the situation with a win against the Dogs. Saturday night in Darwin.
Upset alert, you think?
Upset alert for me, absolutely. Okay. They're playing good footy, the Suns. I know you don't want to subscribe.
They just lost by 40-something points. I
know you don't want to subscribe. I know.
Well, when were you going to subscribe to Gold Coast?
I know.
Come on. You're too loyal to your man Stewie Dew because he flew you up there in first class and he had you around the group in pre-season.
I see
What do you see?
I see Bailey the Goey. His birth certificate says Bailey Humphrey, but I don't believe that. This kid's going to be a phenom. Bailey the Goey. And I think you've finally warmed to Matt Rowell after bashing him for his first 30 games. You've now appreciated.
I admire what he does.
But you bashed him for 20 games.
He's got a lot of work.
You didn't see it with him.
No, he's got a lot of work still to do in his game.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Sherlock.
Yeah, well...
But
that's all I'm saying.
He's become a top liner.
Yeah, so there's the next one. So that's the obvious. The next you're going to mention Anderson and Lukosius. I mean, of course we know about them, but they're not going to take you to the promised land. Like that's a core group.
Not.
Well, that's a core group, but you need more than 3 players.
6 stars, and you fill the rest with role players.
I need wins. All right, just a quick pop quiz for you.
All right.
Yep. You're West Coast, all right?
Quiz got him.
Ronan O'Brien, I think his name is. The list manager up there at the Eagles. He's under a bit of pressure. You've got pick one in your hand. I'm going to chuck.
One.
You've got one, and I've got a whole heap of names.
I'm West Coast.
You're West Coast.
Righto.
Jacob Wiedering, I want to give you for pick one. Ronan, yes or no?
Thanks for the call. Give us a call next year.
Harry Mackay.
Look forward to chatting down the path.
Tim English.
Yep. I've got pick one. Dogs are not giving.
Well, I know. I said that. All right,
we'll take it.
You'll take English for pick one.
Thank you. Here's your pick one. Thank you.
I'm do that deal every day of the week. Free agent at the end of next year. You could lose him for nothing. Aaron Norton, pick one. Ronan.
Thank you. Yep.
Take
Welcome aboard, Aaron.
Tom Green from the Giants.
No. Roll the dice with pick one. Thanks.
All right. Bailey Smith from the Western Bulldogs. Pick one. No, you're keeping pick one.
I like the 2 bigger boys you offered me earlier.
Sam Darcy's another one. Sorry for rating the Western Bulldogs, by the way.
You're shipping out of the
Sam
dogs.
Darcy for pick one.
Another one.
Ronan.
No. We're pretty comfortable with one, thanks.
Sam Mitchell's gone. Okay, I reckon I can trade Will Day for pick one. You doing that?
If Sam said that, they'd walk him out of the joint.
I'm just asking.
Sorry,
this guy's supposed to be the next Dustin Martin.
Am I doing it? I'm doing it for Will Day.
Will Day. All right. Yep. Couple more. Melbourne have just signed Cozzy Pickett, but they want to scrap and rip up his contract. Cozzy Pickett for pick one.
No, I'll take pick one.
And 2 more. Chad Warner. I know you were big on Sydney. trading a midfielder, perhaps they could use that pick 1 to get a key defender. You doing that deal? Chad Warner for pick 1?
I think I can get better with pick 1.
All right. And what about Jordan
Don't you
DeGoey?
think so?
What about the Pies have gone? We've got Dacos. We want another young star. Jordan DeGoey for pick 1.
we need a youngster. We need a player
Right.
with in a different set of circumstances.
That was
a bit
Kingy's
younger.
pop quiz, Kingy. Let's stay on the West Coast theme.
Well, I want to ask you what you'd give me for these guys. Would you get anything for Nick Natanui? I'm shopping now.
Well,
My man Ronan slash Rowan.
You were trying to trade him for a second-round pick during the week.
Second,
with
third.
Gary
I'm
Whaley.
just asking what he's worth. He's 33. He's only played 8 games in a couple of years. Is he of any value to another club?
No, not for a pick inside the 4th round. I wouldn't have.
So you're keeping him then? You have to keep him.
Well, you either keep him
If
or
his
you,
contract.
or you force him into retirement. You make a hard call on a couple of these players that have stuck around for a bit too long. He's probably one of those.
Okay. If he plays on minimum chips, you're happy to play him?
Well, no, I think I would be encouraging Nick Natanui to retire, and if he doesn't, I'd be forcing him into retirement.
McGovern, 31 years
Well,
of
he's
age.
just signed for 2 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, you just told me a minute ago you can rip up a contract.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just tried me to get
Yeah, no, okay.
Ronan slash Rowan.
Yeah. Would you get
McGovern.
anything? Yeah, you'd get a Jack Gunston style deal for McGovern.
Would you get a second round or
Yeah,
a third round?
late second round, I reckon.
Would you take it if you're the Eagles?
Yep,
Would that be a prudent business decision to get rid of a guns and halfback
that doesn't play. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Hard calls, all right? Hard calls that should have been made 3 years ago when McGovern was a first round
don't do
pick.
the retro. Don't do the retro.
Well, I did it at the time. It's not retro.
Mate, then you picked him to win the flag. How could
when
you, how,
when
you
did
can't
I
have it
pick them
both
to
ways.
win the flag?
Well, you would have. I'll go back. I'll do the history.
Please.
You did. You picked them to be top
2021, I said, if you do not win, you've got to rebuild. Like, everyone could see it. And they,
2021.
yeah. March 2021, I'll pull it out for you.
Two drafts.
Win or rebuild. Yeah, well, it's better than none.
Just asking.
That'd be 2 years into a significant rebuild. Now they're 2 years behind, and we're seeing what we're seeing.
Elliot
You're
Yeo,
very loyal to the Eagles.
Of any? No. I'm asking you the question about shipping players. I'm
Yeah,
being
you're
Ronan. Work with me.
probing questions. You're very loyal to your man at the Eagles.
Would you tip Elliot Yeo out at 29 years of age?
Oh, if I could get something for him, yes.
What would you get for him?
Not much.
Second round? Third round?
Nah, just doesn't play. So no.
Gaff?
Well, you're not going to get anything significant for.
Tom Barras?
Yep. You get a first
Shipping
round
him
pick for Barras. Yeah, I would if I could. Yep.
Okay. Oscar Allen.
No. I'm keeping Oscar Allen.
He's the only one of currency, isn't he?
That'd be other than a couple of the real youngsters, but yeah, that's why it's a bit concerning, isn't it?
So this is the counter argument. If you're going to get nothing for those guys, why not allow them to play on minimum chips, and if you need them, you need them.
Because they don't play enough football. They take up a large chunk of your salary cap.
No, on minimum chips. Work with me. Minimum chips. If they're
Gaff's,
there on,
yeah, I know, but Gaff's still contracted and he's on massive money.
you've got to
McGovern,
pay it regardless.
well,
If he walks, you're paying it anyway.
there's no right or wrong answer with the Eagles. There's just not. It's just a world of
Would you
pain.
rather pay for them and not have them?
Not Gaff. I think Gaff's a big elephant in the room at the moment with his form. He's not Gaff. He's not the player that we thought he was and
No, I agree
has
with
a
that.
reputation for being.
McGovern's the one for me. I think you can get something for McGovern.
Okay. What do you think you can get?
I can get a second rounder.
Okay.
I mean, he's a game changer for a club like Carlton,
Yeah.
like the Sydney Swans, who desperately need a key defender.
Darling, get anything for him?
Darling, don't think so. Just a bit past his best. No. Hey, the Cats definitely make the finals. So
Yep.
This is what they got. At GMH, they're 5-5, right? At the GMHBA, they play the Giants. You give them that one. You give them the North Melbourne, Essendon, Fremantle and Port games at GMHBA, right? Give them one of Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs, who they play in the last round of the year down there as well. So that's if you give them 6 of 7 at home, right? That gets them to 11 wins. The last 6, so they need to get to the magic 13. They've got to win 2 of these 6. Western Bulldogs at Marvel, are they winning that?
Not at this stage.
Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval?
Not at this stage.
Sydney in Sydney?
Probably with the way Sydney's going, so I'll give them that.
Brisbane at the Gabba?
No.
Collingwood at the G?
No.
St Kilda at Marvel?
Yes.
So Sydney at Sydney and St Kilda at Marvel would get them to 13. It's a knife's edge stuff, isn't it?
It really is. It really
Not a lot
is.
has to go wrong for it to go wrong. I know they've got a horrible injury list at the moment. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not bashing Geelong. I'm not. But I'm looking at their profile closely, and with the stuff without the footy is not what it has been in the past. And I know there's injuries everywhere. But this is a discussion ahead of time. It's on a knife's edge. They can't afford to have a hiccup at home.
The draw comes into it significantly as well. Like, I've got the Bombers making it. Not because they're a better team than Geelong, just because the fact that they play West Coast and North 4 more times for the year. Just so that comes into it again. Kingy, the big news on Monday night, still, I guess, sending shockwaves through the competition was Richmond coach Damien Hardwick standing down. Just your overview of it. I haven't heard you speak this week on it specifically, but how surprised and shocked were you by it?
Oh, I think it's the perfect exit. I think it's the way to go out. When the coach knows that he's wrung the rag dry, he's got absolutely the most out of the group, you have to leave in contract. And whether you're sacking or whether you're walking away, whichever, whether it's the coach or the club, this is the only way to do it. It's difficult to run to the end of contracts, and I want to talk about Ken Hinkley later on. It causes so much trauma through the course of that final year with us, the media, judging every win, every loss. What does it do? Has he still got his job? Are they still challenging for top 4? Are they still on track? It just causes so much outside noise and distraction. They say they don't listen to it, but of course they do. I think from a Damien Hardwick point of view, from a selfish point of view, one thing he doesn't have to do, he doesn't have to retire his champions. He's not sacking Trent Cotchin. He's not sacking Jack Riewoldt. Now he's first person removed from that discussion now. It's a list discussion. It's now part of the list committee, which he's no longer part of. So I think there's some class in that. And the bottom line is, he's been so good for Richmond. He just shakes hands and says, "Well, we've had a great relationship. Let's move on." And now I'm on the open market in 12 weeks' time.
Yeah, can I play devil's advocate? I don't necessarily violently disagree with anything you've said there, but should he not be the one that's making those calls? And when you've been all in with this group, and whatever role that he had in the list management, I'm assuming it is significant. He wouldn't be the only one, but Blair Hartley clearly knows what he's doing and has assembled premiership squads before, so he would be influential. But to then walk away 10 games into a group that they're all in, really, and a lot of talk through the pre-season was, they're going to go again, and how good is this? They've addressed the deficiency through the midfield, and this is a group with still enough quality to be challenging for top 4, but then 10 games in, it's done, and it's left to the next one.
Well, it's someone else's team now, isn't it? It's someone else's team to make those decisions going forward. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting things wrong or things going wrong. Like, there's no guarantees in footy. Just because you recruit a player, come to us and we'll win you a flag, that's just rubbish. If you think that you're just going to go to a club and win a flag, you're a fool. So the sell to Taranto and Hopper isn't come and play in grand finals with us. It's, hey, look, this is what we do. This is how we play. You can do X, Y, and Z for us, and we think we do A, B, and C really well. So we think we'll challenge again for the final. This is the plan. Now, nothing goes to plan in footy. Nothing goes to plan. So there are no guarantees. The discussion around these two being recruited to be the difference and take them to the promised land is just ridiculous, I think. I don't know what your thoughts are, but there'd be no ill feeling there from those two guys.
No, I think they've both spoken on it. They wouldn't say it publicly, though, would they?
But what would they say? Well, he told us we were going to win a flag.
No, he told us that the season wouldn't be over 10 weeks in, I think. The season's...
How would he know that?
Well, the season's effectively over, and they've given up on the season 10 weeks in. They wouldn't have expected that. Hopper and
of course they wouldn't have expected it, but this is footy. This is reality.
Yeah.
Nothing goes to script in reality TV, or which is AFL footy. This is just an evolving, rolling proposition for these guys. It's those guys could have played better and helped them win those games. So they've got a hand in this as well. So I don't think it's as simple as saying he's given up on them.
1300 736 736. Richmond fans, clearly, we've all had our tributes for Damien Hardwick and the great of the game that he has been. But would you be a little bit disappointed if in 12 weeks' time he's got another job? I think you wouldn't, even though he's so burnt out now and needs a break.
So but you've been critical of this. You've talked about.
I think it's a great job.
What's a great job?
If that was what you were going to say.
No. So you weren't a fan. I was a fan of Richmond. I stuck fat right up until they got rolled last week.
Yeah.
Because I just thought the way they play it can be brilliant.
Yeah.
And diffuses and it takes away the opposition's best week in, week out. So I like the way they play. I think this is the perfect way to do it. Get yourself 3 months off, have yourself a break, refresh, and then when the job comes up at Port Adelaide, and Port Adelaide say, come and coach us. We've got this midfield. We've got this. We've got that. The sell is easy.
No, that's great for him. Is it great for the club? So my question, Richmond. My question is to the Richmond fans: if 100% that's the right thing for Damien Hardwick to do, to call it now, to get your payout, to refresh, to go away, and then come back, and there'll be job offers everywhere. My question is to Richmond, despite him being a great of that football club, is there anything in the Richmond fans that would go, oh, hang on, he said he's burnt out and we've given up on the season 10 weeks in, but then he's gone to coach Gold Coast or Port Adelaide a couple of months after.
But he's burnt out.
Yeah.
What's he wanting to be burnt out for 5 years?
No, I don't.
Is he just burnt? Does he just need a break?
Well, yeah, but if you sign the deal, and if you sign a contract extension and you put yourself in to commit to the footy club and you make these big decisions, to go 10 weeks and then be burnt out and then bob up again in 12 weeks' time and coach.
Oh, I want him to coach again.
Yeah, we all do. But my question is to the Richmond fans, and they may not care about this. Would you question if he was coaching someone else whilst he should still be in contract at the Tigers in 12 weeks' time?
I think he'll be coaching Port Adelaide next year, personally. And I think that's a good thing for footy because the way he coaches is what we want to see. It's highlights, it's free-flowing footy, it's aggression. He needs a break. They've been great for him. I think it's really mature to walk in and say, I've got the most out of this group. You know what? I could sit here in this chair and pick up checks for another 6 months, probably 18 months. And some would do that. Some would just sit there and fulfil their obligations knowing they're short of 100%. But he hasn't done that.
Talk to me about the Port Adelaide piece, because that's interesting. You think it's a good thing for footy? Do you think it's a good thing for Port Adelaide to get him? And then what does it mean for a coach who's won his last 7 in a row?
Yeah, I want to do a deeper discussion than just that with you later on, because I think the assessments of Ken in season are different to what we all thought starting the year. The past mark at the start of the year wasn't win 7 home and away games in a row, or win 10 in a row, or win 15 in a row. The past mark's all about the pointy end, and we're miles from the pointy end.
Well, it always is, though, for coaches, for any coach, and there's only one coach that passes that test at the end of the year.
No, there's not. If he makes a grand final, he's fine. If he's charging towards a prelim, probably there's some pressure on him to be re-signed. But they've got to deliver upon. They've been here before, mate. So we'll do this in a deeper sense later. But the Richmond discussion's a good one. I think Richmond fans, 95% of Richmond fans are absolutely wrapped with how this has unfolded. And yes, it's always tough when it finishes. But they'll see him off on the weekend. Even though he won't be there, they'll celebrate him for what he's been. He's taken a club that was nowhere for 40 years.
I'm with you on all of that. But would there be a little bitter taste in the mouth if he is the Port Adelaide coach in 3 months' time? That's the only question.